everyone, I'm just finishing off a little bit of makeup because I'm going to talk to you about makeup not smudging around your eyes, because lots of you said my makeup always smudges, what do I do to keep it in place? But rather than just looking sort of half made up and a bit sort of pale and pasty, I thought I'd put a bit of colour in, and this is the Trish McAvoy all over face colour. The shade is number 1. But because I'm wearing a, I say that in a kind of number 1, like a confused way, because I don't think there are any other shades, but I might need to check on that. Always do your research, Caroline, before you talk. Yes, I don't learn that lesson, do I? I just think it's really pretty and delicate and very translucent against my bright top, but the weather in London is horrendous and I'm feeling like I need to wear something bright to cheer myself up, and I usually wear quite a lot of dark colours. I studied my complexion with the Skin Fetish. It's the foundation, the new foundation, or newish, from Pat McGrath, and I was expecting it to be really heavy and really full on, and it wasn't. Actually, it had that beautiful texture where you only need a little bit and it stretches all over your face and it works with your skin and connects really well. It actually goes on quite sheer. I'm just going to test it. It's only literally the first time I've put it on, so I will I'll report back when I've worn it for a couple of weeks. Right, so I've just done a little bit of base, so I thought I'd go in with my number 1 Giorgio Armani concealer, just to show you what I would do first. So I would put the base on, probably a little bit of base has gone over my eyelids. Don't avoid your eyes. My mum never puts makeup around her eyes, i.e. foundation. I still, anyway, you're yet to meet my mum. Yeah, you'll understand then. I was just going to brush that. Did you see my hesitation? I went in with the brush and I didn't, because I thought, oh, Caroline, you've put on quite a lot. So I'm just doing my little tappy thing with my finger, because of a lady of a certain age, I don't really want to push that concealer all the way around the front of my face, because that is going to make my skin look a little bit more crepey and made up. So I'm just pushing it, as I teach you, just to push the concealer into that area first and then buff the edges. So a nice little beauty pie brush here, and I'm just basically removing the darkness. It's quite a light colour. It is number 1, the lightest that they do. It's just personally how I prefer to lift my eyes. See, that if I'd spread that, I wish I could show you, should have done that first actually, that would have literally spread across there. Have you ever had that thing where you put your concealer and you're like, oh, too much? Wipe it all off and then you look at yourself and you're like, it doesn't look any different. So that was a lesson, even though I didn't even realise I was going to teach you something else. And I guess we all learn by mistakes, right? So this is a nice concealer around the area because it sits nicely and it dries nicely without crinkling or shrinking your skin. So I feel fresher and brighter. Okay, so I don't really take this across the lid. I use a base primer. Now, I have tried many, and I like the Urban Decay one, and there's a lovely Sensai one, it's a bit creamy. These are the guys I always come back to. They actually come in different colours now as well. NARS, it just works for me. In my opinion, I love this, it's brilliant. Now at work I've just really been using the clear one because it kind of works for all skin tones, and I've always used it, but now you can get them in different shades. So I'm going to use the one for my skin tone, which will be that one today. Does it have a number on it? Medium. And that one I'm assuming is, well, it's medium dark, so there's probably another one as well. If you wanted to have just like a nice wash of brown, we might do that look another time maybe, you could just use this and it will definitely last. So if you've got really oily eyelids and you really struggle, and even primers don't work, but it's quite a nice little idea just to use that as a colour stain. So it's called a Tinted Smudge eyeshadow base. And I'm just going to apply it all along my lid. Now, only my lid, I'll do both, obviously. And I will go in and just use my concealer brush quickly. Now I say quickly because it dries. You haven't got much playtime, which is great, because what the primer does is create a beautiful, smooth, dry base that when you put on your eyeshadows, and I'm going to use a matte eyeshadow I think, because I think matte eyeshadows are the hardest to blend. And you just place that over there and just give it a couple of seconds to dry. That's actually a good colour for me, or I could use a translucent one. It doesn't feel light, it doesn't feel tight, just feels like nothing, which is great. There are two powders that I love. You'll know that I love the By Terry Hyaluronic because I love texture. Makeup for me is about texture, fragrance, how things feel. It should feel lovely and like a little treat. So I'll use the translucent one on one eye because it just creates this really beautiful soft finish. Now they have got the new hyaluronic foundation. Have any of you tried it? I have tried it. It's not working for me. It's sitting on top of my skin. Yeah, let me know if you've tried it. Maybe you've been into store and had a little go, but as yet I'm not as thrilled as I hoped I would be with it. And then the other powder, well, I'll wait for you. I'll do this one first. Right, so take a little bit. My NARS Kabuki brush, just put a little bit of powder in here. Does create a little bit of a snowstorm, but you know, that's fine. Look, oh, instantly. There we are. Couldn't be easier and couldn't be more pleasurable. And the other one I'm going to use is Becca Hydra Mist. Of course, it's a bit shiny, isn't it? Becca Hydra Mist. Now, this is an incredible formula. It's got a little bit of glycerin and water in it. You have to keep, it's not brand new this at all. Oops. You have to keep the lid on. It's like a plastic lid covering the powder because it stops it from drying out. And it comes with a little net. And you put the powder in. Now, you can use this all over your face. And it feels wet. Oh yes, it feels completely wet when you put it on. So great if you're having any hot sweats or hot flashes and you want to kind of correct your face after your temperature has risen and you want to put yourself back together. This is a really lovely formula, but also just a really great invention. It feels wet, I promise you. It feels wet, but doesn't look it at all. So those two powders I absolutely adore. I think are very, very clever. Powder is just not powder anymore, is it? Powder comes with extra sensations or textures or fragrance. Both eyes are now feeling super soft. So that is where you need to be, ladies, before, and gentlemen, before you start putting on, especially a matte eyeshadow. If you struggle to make it smooth, if you struggle to keep it on a long time, try this. I hope it will work. It will work. Right, I'm going to go in with the Beauty Pie eyeshadow, and I particularly love this kind of lovely sort of soft pewtery grey. Because I'm wearing pink, I don't want anything to be too much, otherwise I'll end up looking a bit sort of dolly. So I want something kind of neutral but strong. So I'm just going to put my brush in. This is a brush by Tom Ford. And just tap off the excess. So just go back and use that if I need to. Stretch my lid and place it along. And place it along my socket. So you see that I'm just using the flat side of the brush where I put the colour. Just dip in again. So use the colour on the flat. Don't do this. Don't stab the brush. No, no, no. Place the colour on the belly of the brush. Okay. Tap off on your hand. Smooth the colour over your lid. And then you can use the tip of the brush just to really wedge the eyeshadow into the socket. Keep it away from this part of your eye. And look how soft and smooth and effortlessly that shadow goes onto the eye. And I'll do the same on the other side. Colour on the belly of the brush, the underside of the brush, the flat side of the brush. Goes on super smooth without a streak. And then use the tip to blend in to the socket area. For me, I need this. Now, I know a lot of you guys are saying, I've got deep sockets and dark circles. What can I do about that? I'll do a film, I'll squeeze that in for next week's filming. And then just use the tip just to kind of get in between the lashes there if you need a little bit more density. Now, obviously you can go ahead and be really creative like the other eyeshadows that we've done, but this film isn't about the eyeshadow that I'm wearing. It's just about the lovely base that we've created just to put on that soft shadow, super soft, and this will take you all the way through the day. You can build that up with a little bit of strength if you want to. I'm probably going to take a little bit of a cotton bud, because I love my cotton buds. Push that in to the same shadow and just take it along my lash line. Because my lash line's a little bit crinkly, sometimes the brush goes over the top of the crinkles, so the one's skin underneath doesn't get that density. So you can see that's just a little bit darker. Just having that colour density along the lash line will always give you a little bit more shape. Just working it backwards and forwards so the pigment sits in. Two mascaras that I wanted to talk to you about. Both are tubing mascaras, so they are smudge-proof, sweat-proof. They won't dilute or crumble on your eyes. I've talked a lot about DHC. It's a Japanese brand. I love their mascara, very fine, delicate lashes. I like something on a daily basis that's more chunky, but it's also great for me working. Right, the mascara that I want to show you is Kevyn Aucoin, and this is the volume mascara. Now I've talked to you a lot about DHC. It's a Japanese brand, and that's a tubing mascara that I also love. But the Kevyn Aucoin volume mascara is also smudge proof, and it doesn't crumble during the day, and once dry it stays put. I have to say the Honest Beauty one that I've been using as well is also pretty good. Now this has got a delightful little brush, and I do love a little brush. I just find you get much more control and lift. It's such a little dinky mascara wand as well, really thin and elegant. It just means if you've got a smaller brush, it's much easier for you to get the mascara to the roots of the lashes. And getting the mascara to the roots of the lashes means that you're kind of creating shape around your eye without even trying, without even using an eyeliner. Great, perfect. And the same on the other side. A couple of my Asian clients love this mascara simply for the fact because their eyelashes are super straight underneath, and they don't like to obviously get that transfer of product onto their skin, which when you have very straight lashes that are close to your skin will happen naturally, because underneath your eyes here it's much more oily, and when you're moving your eyes, you know, your lashes will, or their lashes will touch their skin, so naturally the product and the pigment will dilute. But if you use a formula like this, a tubing formula, and there's lots on the market, you won't have that problem. So finishing off, I've done 2 or 3 coats. I always have a clean old mascara one. This is a Matte Spats one that I've cleaned, just because I like to build up my mascara, because I like to have lots of mascara on, but I don't like the tips to look thick. So I just brush a clean mascara wand just over the tips if I feel I've overdone it, which is common. So I hope for those of you who've asked and you do try this, let me know if these small adjustments improve your makeup application. Just remember to put a little bit of base, bit of primer, and make sure it's super, super dry and smooth. You don't have to use the powders or products that I have, but you can use a powder. Just be lightweight with it if it is a heavy powder. Light powders are best just for on your eyes. Let me know if you have any questions below, and have a great week.